Yo, what's going on, guys? KrispyFlakes here. For today's video, we have every NBA team's most embarrassing stat from the 2017-2018 NBA season. So this is an article by Morgan Swam, I think is how you say that right there. And I thought it would be really interesting to see what these teams had issues with this past NBA season, and maybe talk about how they can fix that, or if they actually did anything to fix that out here. If you guys can do me a quick favor and drop a like on this video, also be sure to hit that join button if you do want to be a part of the KrispyFlakes membership here on my channel. Alright guys, let's go ahead and get started on this. The first team we have is the Atlanta Hawks with a 15.4 turnover percentage. Yeah, that just comes down to low basketball IQ, right? Not just that, but also their team is actually pretty young out there. Unfortunately, I don't think getting Trae Young is going to improve that statistic, because while he does get assists out there, the man also does get quite a few turnovers, as I believe he did in college. So yeah, man, I don't know if that's going to improve overnight. If they can get less than 15, that's fine. If they need to work on that bitch ass number is pretty much what I'm trying to say. You can't have 15.4 turnover percentage. That's absolutely horrendous. Okay, next up we have the Boston Celtics post-up efficiency. So I'm thinking about this. I don't think that's a big deal. You might actually say that's a good thing for them, because the NBA in recent years has gone away from post-up basketball. A lot of big guys like Al Horford now can shoot three-pointers, shoot the mid-range game really good and stuff like that. A lot of times this team runs Marcus Morris at the power forward position. He doesn't really post up at all. I don't think that is a big deal. Yeah, if that's your worst stat as a Celtics fan, you guys need to be happy. It's just showing that you're not really playing an old school style of basketball out there. Next up, we have the Brooklyn Nets. Only 14 points off of turnovers. Okay, so I don't know what the actual average is of turnovers per game by an NBA team. But I'm thinking, so it's if a team turns the ball over 7 times in a game, that's where your 14 points come from, assuming they're all 2-pointers. So yeah, I mean, like I said, if somebody knows what the average turnover rate is in the NBA, let me know in the comment section below. It would make this it would probably make this seem a lot worse than what I really think it is out there, because I think their problem is no draft picks. But that's just my thoughts on that, man. Plus, it is a stat, so that's their stat. Okay, next up we have the Charlotte Hornets, 37% on clutch field goals. Okay, like I said, man, I think this team has a lot more issues out there than that. But you definitely need a guy that can get it done in the clutch. I mean, Kemba Walker, I think he's a great point guard. There's a lot of times where he takes kind of unwarranted shots out there. And, sometimes a point guard or just all the members of your team, you just don't really have that it factor out there. That guy that can come up in clutch moments and get it done. It's a big part about winning basketball games. But at the same time, for the Charlotte Hornets, it's not that big a deal, because their team was really not that great anyway. So by losing those close games, we got a better chance of the draft lottery. All right, now we have the Chicago Bulls, 43.5 shooting percentage. I think a lot of that comes down to last season. It's just well, for one, Zach LaVine missed a lot of the season, and he's pretty much one of their best scorers on the team. Lauri Markkanen was a rookie, shot a lot of three-pointers, did that at a pretty good rate. Chris Dunn was finally coming into his own. I don't think this is going to be the case for the Chicago Bulls next NBA season. I think Jabari Parker, he's a really good shooter. He's going to be better. Wendell Carter, I believe, can knock down three-pointers. You got Lauri Markkanen, that's going to be a year better. So I think this team is actually going to improve that. But yeah, 43.5 shooting percentage, game in, game out. That's not good. That's definitely not good. Okay, next up, we have the Cleveland. Yeah. Oh, my God, dude. Let's just say this team defensively, this season, I'm not expecting a lot of good things. Who's on their team now? LeBron James is gone. Y'all got Jordan Clarkson. Colin Sexton. You know what? I will say Colin Sexton, I think he could be a really good defender in the NBA. He kind of has, that Mamba mentality, that look in his eyes where it's yeah, he can go out there and play some good defense. Kevin Love, not much on defense. I heard trade rumors about the Cavaliers going for Hassan Whiteside. I mean, that would be good for their interior defense. But yeah, they were absolutely horrible last season. Okay, next up we have Dallas Mavericks team assist leader. So yeah, JJ Barea was the leader in assists last NBA season. I don't remember what it was exactly, but the thing is, it's Dennis Smith. As you build respect around the league, you definitely got to be, focusing on getting your teammates involved. Luka Doncic is going to help this a ton. I wouldn't be surprised if Doncic ends up being this team's leader in assists next NBA season. Depends though how much they run it through him versus Dennis Smith. But you also need to have the offensive-oriented guys on your team that your point guard or ball handler can pass to get those assists. If people ain't knocking down shots, it's what can you do, right? Okay, next up we have the Denver Nuggets opponents 3-point percentage at about 38%. God damn, baby. I mean, that's an average. And 38% from 3, if you're doing that just as a regular NBA player, you are considered one of the elite shooters in the NBA. So basically, this Nuggets team is letting everybody be elite against them. I don't see that changing much this next NBA season. Isaiah Thomas is definitely not going to help you defensively. I do think Gary Harris is good on defense. Michael Porter, who knows how he'll be, if he'll even play next season or anything like that. Paul Millsap's a great defender. He spent a lot of time on the bench due to injuries for the Nuggets, so him being back in the game will help this team a lot out in that department, assuming he's not just old now and worn out. Okay, next we have Detroit Pistons consistency ratings. This was so frustrating as a fan of this team. It seemed like they would go on this 5-game win streak. They're like, all right, man, this team's going to make some playoffs. The league's starting to recognize a little bit, and then they lose 10 straight. And it's just like, that comes down to coaching. Thankfully, the bitch-ass you guys see in front of you, man, tubby-ass right there, man, is not going to be on our team anymore. It's going to be Dwayne Casey, who was Coach of the Year. So, I'm happy about that. Okay, next up we have Golden State Warriors, opponents' second chance points. And that comes down to rebounding. And, I mean, you look at how this team was last season. Obviously, like, their big issue was the center position. I mean, JaVale McGee was decent at times when he plays. Zaza Pachulia and Jordan Bell. While I do think Jordan Bell is a good player, he is a bit undersized. So, now this team has DeMarcus Cousins. I don't think they're going to be giving up too many rebounds, allowing opponents a second chance points anytime soon. All right, now we have Houston Rockets assisted 3-point field goals. So, basically, the Houston Rockets, they are one of the top teams in the NBA in shooting 3-pointers. The thing is, though, is that a lot of it is off of isolation. So it's like James Harden, will do a little shimmy, little crossover, do his thing, man, a little step back, and shoot a 3-pointer. And yeah, it's like he makes it. I mean, one MVP, but the team was to get an assist. Not that big a deal, but you would think a team with Chris Paul and James Harden, you would think that the ball movement would be a bit better. But like I said, man, Chris Paul also missed a lot of time last season, too. All right, next up, we have the Indiana Pacers attendance. This one I totally do get. It says they were 27th in the NBA in attendance. That's not going to be the case this year. The reason this is, man, is because going into last season, everybody thought the Pacers lost the trade of losing Paul George, and Victor Oladipo at the time was not an all-star. He was just a guy that was a part of a trade that was like a decent shooting guard. But no, this team's picking up some nice pieces. They had a nice little playoff run and took the Cavaliers to 7 games. I'm expecting that attendance to probably be top 10 or 15 this next NBA season. Okay, next we have the Clippers. Catch and shoot attempts. This played a huge role in why the Clippers were the only team to average less than 20. Okay, so they did not average very many catch and shoots. Once again, it goes down to not really having a natural point guard on the team. Milo Teodosic was supposed to be a guy that could get others involved. He got injured. Patrick Beverley got injured. Lou Williams, not really that type of player. And you lost Chris Paul. So, yeah, a lot of isolation basketball on the Clippers team. Okay, next we have the Los Angeles Lakers free throw shooting. I was actually looking at the stats of the current Lakers, like with JaVale McGee and Lance Stevenson and Lonzo and LeBron and all their free throw shooting stats. That might be an issue for this team next NBA season also. It's just they don't make their free throws, and that can sometimes be the big difference maker, especially in the Western Conference when all these teams are so close win-loss wise. Okay, Memphis Grizzlies, 34 different starting lineups. Oh my God, man. I mean, yes, they had a lot of injuries, so you kind of work with what you got out there. And when you have like your star players injured, like Mike Conley, or I believe Markelle missed quite a few games also. It's like you kind of want to go out there and experiment and see which guys are going to step up, because that's kind of thinking forward in the next NBA season. This upcoming season, I expect the starting lineup to be Mike Conley, probably, what's his name, Garrett Temple, I believe he's on the team now. I think maybe him. I don't know. Might have another shooting guard I'm not thinking about. You got Chandler Parsons out there. You got their, who they get in the draft? I forgot, man. They didn't get Marvin Bagley. No, who the hell? No, they got Jaren Jackson, yeah, for the power forward position, and then Marcus Gasol as center. Hopefully they can stick with that lineup. All right, Miami Heat. Hassan Whiteside and Dion Waiters, plus minus. Hassan Whiteside needs to be traded. I'm actually very surprised he's still on that team. Dion Waiters, another player that had a lot of injuries last season, but yeah, so they only played 30 games. When you're on and off the court like that, it's hard to really build up a consistency, especially in the NBA. I mean, you got to really have your mind right, injury-wise and all that stuff out there. So, Dion Waiters has an excuse. Hassan Whiteside, I think, just gave up on his team. Okay, Milwaukee Bucks, rebounds last. That is why I freaking hate that they went out and got Brook Lopez. What's he gonna do for you? The man can score sometimes. He ain't gonna grab you no rebounds. Like, what? Make a trade for, I don't know, man. Get us on Whiteside. Get somebody like that. Because when you're dead last in rebounding, it's not going to get better this season, man. They don't have the centers to do it. All right, next we have the Timberwolves was last in 3-point attempts. Now, that can come down to a few things there. I don't know what their true 3-point percentage is out there, because it's like, if you're not taking very many attempts, but you're still making you're still making a good percentage of them, that can actually be like looked at as smart basketball and taking smart shots and not just jacking up threes. So before I critique this one, I would actually know the Timberwolves saw 3-point percentage in their ranking last NBA season. All right, next up we have the Pelicans. Franchise value is at the lowest. What's all y'all bitch asses called the Pelicans, man? Nobody, okay, man. Here we go. Let's say you're a future billionaire and you're like, yeah, one day I want to own an NBA team. Ain't nobody want to own a team called the Pelicans. I'm just saying, man. There's other names out there. Like, why didn't you guys do something like Mardi Gras or something like that? What's the Pelican for? Maybe it's like their bird or something. I don't know. New York Knicks, biggest lead blown. Whoa, like, what was this, man? With 2:56 to go before the half, the Knicks led 68-41. Okay, that is embarrassing, but it's only one game. I don't see that as a big deal out there. As far as like this team's biggest like issue last season, I know it's kind of going based like mostly off stats and stuff like that. I don't remember how this team was like rebounding wise. I know Kristaps missed a lot of time and he's probably their best rebounder. I know I guess Enes Kanter's a pretty decent rebounder, but yeah, that's not really that big a deal. Okay, the OKC Thunder passes made 254 per game. Is that good? Or is that bad? Would pass the ball at the league's second worst rate. Okay, so that means they don't pass the basketball. Yeah, man, the offense is give it to Westbrook and move the hell out of the way. Yo, Paul George, you go send that 3-point line every now and then you'll touch the ball. Melo, you're gonna get balled out and go to the damn Rockets. So yeah, Westbrook, he does get his assists, but the ball movement of this team could be atrocious at times, which is a damn shame because you had so many good offensive options. The Orlando Magic corner 3-point percentage says they shot just 34% from the corner three. That's in theory, supposed to be the easiest 3-point shot because something to do with like the angle and stuff like that. And I guess it's like a little bit closer than any other spot on the 3-point line. I know my bitch ass, whenever I shoot those threes like that, I always airball though. I don't got my backboard to bank off of accidentally. So yeah. All right. Philadelphia 76ers. Markelle Fultz games played 14. Okay. I mean, Ben Simmons, Joel Embiid. Need I say more? He was injured. That's actually a good thing. Sorry guys, had to do a little jump cut right there. KrispyFlakes was knocking stuff over, so yeah. Markelle Fultz, not a big deal. Other guys on this team in the past have had injuries. Ben Simmons, Joel Embiid, two of the best players in the NBA now. That's fine. Phoenix Suns win percentage. Yeah, they weren't. Yeah, 21-61. That's not good, but y'all end up getting DeAndre Ayton, so that's fine. You know, it's all good. You got that Lowry pick. It's like. My thoughts is like this, man. If I don't make the playoffs, I want my team to be the worst. So you get that next big franchise piece. Portland Trailblazers assists 19.5 per game, which is probably pretty damn low. Yeah, it says the only team to have less than 21. I don't know why that is. I mean, I don't see Jim McCollum. He's kind of more like offensive oriented. Damian Lillard, yeah, I guess it makes sense. If your best players are like your backcourt in this case, and they need to do a lot offensively, it's like, why would they pass the basketball? Which is like the same case for the Houston Rockets, like Chris Paul and James Harden. Probably did not have as many assists as they needed to out there, but in the end, they're the best players, so they should be the guys taking all the shots and everything like that. Sacramento Kings, team leader in points per game. Oh, this is saying who averaged the most points. Yeah, 36-year-old Zebo. Zach Randolph. Well, y'all got Marvin Bagley now. I expect him to probably be the leading scorer next NBA season, or maybe Buddy Hield. Next up, we have San Antonio Spurs consecutive 50-win season snapped. All things considered, this team still made the playoffs without Kawhi Leonard. Like, y'all got DeMar DeRozan now. He's loyal as hell. He's going to go out there and ball out. Spurs are in a good place. That does suck that win streak was snapped because of Kawhi Leonard, but it's fine. All right, Toronto Raptors 4-0. Yo, 4-0 what, man? 4-0 and what? Okay, Dwayne Casey led the Raptors to new heights this season after taking over blah, blah, blah. Back-to-back exits. Oh, they're talking about getting swept. Okay, yeah, Toronto Raptors 4-0. Yeah, can't be getting swept as number one seed in the Eastern Conference. Utah Jazz, 19-28 starts. You know, it says right here, man, Rudy Gobert was injured. Donovan Mitchell, it's like, yeah, for how good he turned out to be, it still takes time doing that. And this team's once again, man, is a good direction. It's like they turned things up when they needed to. I believe they got to the playoffs. 19-28, it makes sense to me. Like, I understand how that would happen. And finally, we have the Washington Wizards, John Wall's lack of activity. Another player that had quite a bit of injuries last season. But I will say, I do think unless the Wizards manage to like make it to the Eastern Conference or the NBA Finals, probably the last season of either John Wall or Bradley Beal on the Wizards. I feel like one of those guys would get traded, or if they have a bad start, maybe by trade deadline. But yeah, guys, hope you all enjoyed this video. Definitely love going through all this stuff right there and just talk about some basketball. Let me know in the comment section below, what were you like most disappointed about in your NBA team last NBA season? Thank you all so much for watching. Be sure to drop that like, subscribe if you're new to my channel, hit that join button to become a member of the Crispy Flakes membership club. Peace out, my friends.